1, 2, 3, 4. 4 beautiful beauts. I mean 4 beautiful bats.
What is up, everyone? I'm Byron Vinny, and I'm infecting more useless opinions. And this is obviously a little bit of a different video for me, because normally I don't do TV shows. I'm more of the game side of things. But because this is Castlevania, obviously this is worth talking about, something worth discussing. But reasons I'll get into later, it's also not really worthy of doing a whole big video. So that's why I thought I would do this impression type video. So I won't be spoiling things. But yeah, like this is really this is something. So the reason I don't want to do a whole video is the biggest complaint I have of the show right now is this is not a show. This is not a season. This is the prologue. This is the first episode of a show, and it's a great show. And what I saw was awesome and amazing. I'm totally intrigued with wherever they want to go. But just like this is the setup. This is the establishing the characters and the tones and like everything's going on like as an introduction and a setup for what could be a great show. I love it. I'm all in. Like I think I love the style. I love the humor. I love the characters. I love the setting. Everything like that is all great. But it's just like because it is 4 22-minute episodes, they're extremely short. Like in terms of episodes, I think one episode is just the main character Trevor Belmont getting into a bar fight. The second episode is him meeting this chick. The third is them in a dungeon, and then the fourth is them coming out of the dungeon and then small town attack, and then they go back into the dungeon. Like as an episode of a whole big season, that's fine, first act, second act, blah blah blah. But like, as a season, it's really kind of disappointing because it's so good and you want more, and it's just like, no, this is the setup. Like the show is about obviously the Victor Belmont. He's part of the Belmont family, full of vampires and yada yada. And it also establishes how there was Dracula. This woman, I guess, didn't sneak, but she wandered into his castle. And I love Dracula's wife because she was only on screen for maybe 5-10 minutes tops, and she was like still very memorable. Like she was very sassy, very like determined and strong-willed and like awesome and very like she's got gusto. And then the town freaks out and murders her, and obviously this upsets Dracula, so he says, hey, in 1 year I'm gonna burn your town down. And they don't believe him. They're like, the priest tricks the town into destroying, to ignore them, and then Dracula comes back in a year later and it's like, hey, I'm gonna murder the town. Then the Belmont guy comes and he's supposed to help the town, or he doesn't want anything to do with it, but he finds these like, these seekers or these travelers, these like, these, basically wizards. Let's just call them wizards. And he's like, well, hey, you guys are more important than the town, so let's get out of here. And the wizards are like, no, we want to help the town. So he's like, all right, cool, I'm going to help you. That's like, again, I'm trying to stay as spoiler-free as possible, but like, that's pretty much like the first 3 episodes. Like, the last episode is, well, I'll talk about it at the very, very end. But like, something I can talk about is the R rating, which is nice, but I'm also afraid it's one of those things they're gonna abuse. Professionalism, where it's one of those things. For the most part, the blood and the violence is fine. It's acceptable. It's not too gory, but then every now and again they go super gory out of nowhere, and that's like it's very, very graphic. Like for example, there's a scene where in the very first episode, these demons come and they like. The one scene I remember specifically is it's slightly funny, but it's also kind of fucked up. but they're like, there's a demon, and he grabs like a mother and a daughter, and he picks them up, and he just like starts like banging them against the wall. And, like, you don't, it's a far away shot, and you don't see it up close, but you just see like the blood splattering off the wall, and it's like, ooh. And then the shot right after that is there's a fucking kid cut like in quarter, like sliced down the side, and it's just like, Jesus Christ. And then there's another scene later where these the dick priest are attacking Victor, and like the fight is mostly fine. Like, again, they try stabbing him. I think he like kicks the knife out of the way, and it like goes in one guy's arm, and it's like, it's not blood everywhere, but it's like a little blood spurt, and then just, you know, the dripping of the blood. Nothing too bad. And then even later on, he accidentally whips one priest and like cuts his finger off, and it's fine. Like, you know, he's whipped his finger off, but it's fine. And then another guy, he like whips and his eyeball pops off, and it's just like, it gets stuck to a wall and just like slides down. And I'm like, whoa, that was like way over the top. You didn't need to do that. Like, so, and I think there's other scenes where they like cut demons. So the violence is definitely there, and it helps add to the, you know, the dark, gritty, realistic tone. It's just in the certain moments with like the eyeball, there's certain moments where I'm like, you didn't need to go that far. You're perfect. Like, just having a little blood and a little dismemberment is fine. I don't need them to go full graphic, like ripping people in half, and like you can see their organs and stuff like that. Besides that, that's fine. I like the main character of Victor. It would have been so easy to make him an asshole, because he's that main character who, like, he doesn't care. He's just so dumb with this. He's just like, that, like, Lafer is just like, alright, I guess I'll go get into a fight. Oh, look at this. This is exciting. Oh God, I'm gonna get a real workout. But he still had that, like, smug Nathan Drake, like, you know, smug attitude where he thinks he's better than everyone. Like, I do like him. They introduced this female wizard who is very forgettable. Like, all I really remember is that she's the girl and she knows magic. And then there's a last character, which I will say for the last bit, which I promise. But overall, just the show it's good. I like the action. I love the pacing of this. The first 4 episodes are great. Like, if you watch it all in one go, it's a great story. The problem is, like I said, it's just there's not enough. This is a pilot. This is a first pitch. Like, if going forward, like, let's say season 2, each episode is an hour, that would be fantastic. But doing the way they did now, the 22 minutes, it doesn't feel enough. And that's not like me saying like, oh, all shows have to be an hour. It's just not a lot really happens in those 22 minutes. A lot of characters talking, and history and setup and yada yada. And maybe season 2 will do a better job of like, all right, we got all the exposition out of the way. Now we can just have episodes doing this and this and this. But yeah, so I recommend it. And then here's the last itty bitty thing. So yeah, I recommend it. Go watch it if you don't want spoilers. But the last itty bitty spoiler thing is Alucard was in the first 5 minutes of the episodes, and then he dies, and then he comes back at the end, and he's like, oh hey, I need there's a prophecy, me, a hunter, and a wizard, we're gonna go fight my dad, and we're gonna go beat his dad, because, you know, I don't like him killing humans. And that last episode was like, that is a great setup for the show. You've got Alucard, you've got this hunter, you've got this thing. I'm pretty sure that is a setup of Castlevania 3, I want to say. I think there's a thief in that game as well. But the point is, like, that sounds like a great show. Those 3 people going around, fighting Dracula, trying to, you know, get it, because the castle moves, so, and there's that, you know, that moving goalpost where, like, they have to find a way to get into the castle and then they can kill Dracula. So the show is great. Everything the show did within that brief time is great. It's just, I really, really want more. So here's hoping season 2 is definitely longer and a lot more than 4 episodes.
Who is you do?